What's up guys, Skottyy here from the Blue Cooking family. Welcome back to another modded tutorial. This one I'm going to be looking at big reactors. So this is for making big nuclear reactors. Even though they don't actually use uranium or cobalt or anything like that. They use yellorium, which can be mined up from the earth and looks like that. It's often known as idiot's gold, because if you look at that, that looked very much like that. So from a distance you think, yeah, I found some gold, and you get yellorium. Now yellorium is very, very useful because you can refine it down into yellorium ingots. Now the most efficient way of doing that is you put it through a pulverizer and you get 2 yellorium dust and you smelt those into 2 yellorium ingots. But of course you can't just smelt it straight in a furnace or redstone furnace to make yellorium ingots. So yellorium, you got to treat it like uranium, so it's for fuel. Of course you need the reactor to use the fuel. Now there's a couple different designs, there's multiple ways you can do it, because this is a multi-block structure, so of course you can build it in any way you want. So the way I do it, or to start off, is the easy 3x3, and this is what you can see in front of me here. So this is one I'm going to be building in my Volts War series in many episodes time, but this is one which is a good starting block. So you don't need that much. So you need some reactor casings, this reactor access port, a reactor power tap, yellorium fuel rod, control rod, and a reactor controller. Now you can make this reactor casing via 4 graphite bars, 1 yellorium ingot or uranium. So uranium comes from resonant induction atomic, and also for iron. That makes 4 reactor casings. Everything else is pretty much made from some reactor casings. So if I show you a power tap, so it's made 4 reactor casings and some redstone. So pretty much all of those, other than the fuel rod, is made with things. So this fuel rod is made by 2 graphite, 1 yellorium and 6 iron. But of course you can look this all up in your not enough items if you look into them further. So to finish this off, so this is not a finished reactor, this was just to show you the design. So to finish this off, you need to completely square it off into 3x3 of reactor casing. So once you get the basic thing down there, then you can start building it up. There you go. So the rest of it can be reactor casings or reactor glass. So it's this stuff. So the only difference is reactor glass you use in like this sort of thing to look into. But of course the frame cannot be reactor glass. So I'll show you what that means in a second. So once you've built it like this, you can right click on the front and it shows you the control panel. Now the first column here is your fuel status. So it shows you how much fuel you got. This is the casing, so this is the outside casing heat, the core heat, and of course how much energy. So let me get rid of that. The energy is being produced. On the left hand side you've got the temperature, how much RF is being made per tick, how many millibuckets per tick, so that's how much fuel is being used and converted into the waste, and also you got the fuel reactivity. Now of course as you can see there, the heavily radiated core is higher levels of radiation reduce fuel burn up. So it has a higher level of radiation which can hurt you and can damage you and is quite horrible, but it reduces how much fuel is being burnt and gives you a higher fuel to power ratio. So how you turn this on is you grab some yellorium ingots, and because you can't place it in here at all, see, you can't place in here. But what you can do is you come around, no, go outside, that's a power tap, you come to this side which is the access port, and you can place one into the green side. The blue side is what ejects for waste, so that's where waste comes from. You put yellorium in there. If you come around to the front, you can now see it's got some core status in there. It's got 25% full, so this one takes 4 yellorium ingots and it's full. To start it, you press the big green button, and you can see the heat is rising and also the amount of energy is being used. So you can already see that it's 0.1% full on the energy buffer, but you can also see that the core heat is rising. So if I add a bit more into here, so there you go, see now it's got full the full amount of power, and you can see that the temperature is rising quite rapidly. But that does mean, and because of that, it means that you produce a lot more power. Now, the more fuel you have, or the more fuel to waste ratio, the better energy you produce. Okay, so you want to keep it constantly topped up to produce the most amount of energy to get the most amount of heat. Now, this is the maximum it can do. This is the best this reactor can do. It's not very good, so let's turn that off. So I also quickly showed down bottom here, got do not eject waste automatically, so it must be manually ejected or automatically ejected waste. That means from this port you can automatically eject it here via this button, and you can also set it to an outlet. Okay. So now you want to upgrade your reactors. You got this one that's not really good. Now you must build something a bit more complex. So the last one you had one fuel rod and one control rod. This one has 9. So this is a 7x7. So this is a 2 upgrade. The next upgrade to that one is a 5x5 with 3 fuel rods. I'll also link in the bottom description below a table which shows you the different fuels and the different sizes you can use, and also it will show you the coolant, because being bigger you get air gaps and things like that, and it gets a lot hotter, so you need an external coolant. Now in the table I'll link at the bottom, it does tell you which coolant is the best one to use, and of course it does depend if you've got that mod installed, if you can use that coolant. So for this one, which is a 7x7x3, the best coolant to use is Resident Ender. Now that can be used by liquefying ender pearls, but also has quite a cool nifty feat that if you jump into it, it teleports you. So I quite like it. It's quite a fun little fluid like that. But yeah, so you use that in this. So what this is, it still has all the things. So here we go, Reactor Controller. It's got a power tap. It's got control rods. It's got fuel rods. It's got the access port. So it also has reactor glass and reactor casing. Now, I need to check, but I don't believe this will work because it has glass as the frame. Now what I mean by that is it has a frame around it which might not produce the correct configuration to build reactor. So let's just pour the fluid in around. Oh, yeah, that's the trouble with pouring this stuff. So you pour this stuff in all the air gaps, producing no waste. So that is now completely cool, and as you can see in here, you can see it through there. Now the only thing left to do is to completely cover over. I keep on falling into this stuff. You can cover over the top. Now you do not have to cover over the top of the fuel rods. That is very important, because that means you can still access the fuel rods and change their name and their control rod percentage. So you can also change what core this is. So you can name it as core 1. So then it tells you that core 1 will be overheated, and you can also set control rod percentage. So that's how much percentage it is into the reactor core. Okay, so you can see that's all done. Now if you right click here, you can see that it's not working. Okay, so this means we need to completely reconfigure this. So now if we come to each corner, like this. Now, if this isn't it, there you go. So, as you can see, what I did there is exactly as I told you. You need to be able to have, on each corner, needs to be no glass. It needs to be reactor casing for it to work. So, once you know it's done, so I'll show you, this goes red. So before, it's black, now it's red. So you right click it, and it shows the same user interface. So it's exactly the same, doesn't matter what size you do. Please note that it says status offline. So if I come around to the access port and I place in a lot more yellorium, see? So it takes a lot more, it's a lot more hungry machine. Like that. So it tells you you've got 9 fuel rods, it tells you you've got 36 MB of fuel, and it's completely full. So now if I turn it on, you can see that the heat rises quite significantly. That's already a lot higher than the old one. The old one only reached about 800, this is already reaching 1100. So you can already see that the ticks per second is already a lot higher. So if I go back to this old one and turn this on, Okay, you can see it's 260. This one. This is 4 kilo RF. So it's already 1,000. So it's 4,000 times more. No, 8,000 times more. Yes. No, even more than that. So it's about 16 times more. Yes. Yeah, something like that. Someone do the maths. But you can already see that it's at 50% of the energy already. So it produces a lot of energy, and you can see that it's radiating quite a lot. So fuel reactivity is 418%. This one is still 100. So you can see that the radiation level is a lot higher in this one than it was in the other one. So this one you need to be a lot more careful with. But it's still pretty stable, still pretty safe. So let's turn that off. Now there is one more thing to this mod, because producing energy in this is good, but it's not that efficient. There's one other way, and that's this back here. This is a turbine. So this is how real reactors in the real world are producing. A reactor produces no power itself. All it does is heats water. The water is then turned into steam inside the reactor, which is extremely hot, and is also used for a coolant, hint hint, and is then pumped into a turbine. The steam is then pushed through the turbine, which spins, which turns a diode? No. Yeah. Basically turns a motor backwards, which produces energy. Okay, so this is a lot more efficient way of doing it. So this is a turbine. I'll quickly show you the inside of it. So the insides consist of turbine rotor blades, this, and then in the middle it's got the turbine rotor shaft, and on the end it's got the turbine rotor bearing. Around the outside you've got turbine housing and turbine glass. You also have in it, you have a turbine power port and a turbine controller. This around here is the coil. So what it means is you have to have a coil of a metallic block in order for it to produce electricity, because it has to spin around something. So depending on what block, exactly the same as the coolant, depends on how much electricity produced. Now I use electrum, which seems to be the best one. Lots of people use gold, which is also really good. Do not use diamond, it does not produce as much energy. Okay, the other thing that this does require is a fluid port. So I'll quickly put 2 of these in, for an in and an out. So I'll finish off this. So once it's done, it changes colour and looks a lot more done. So why is that not completing? Why is that not completing? Have I broken it? If I right click this, does it? It should tell me. Oh right, yeah, I've used the wrong. There we go. So it does. So if you right click the thing, it does tell you that you used the wrong. There you go. You got to use a turbine. I did use a turbine fluid port. How strange. So that's done. So if I put a turbine fluid port in here, is that still done? Oh, okay. Is that still not liking it? How strange. So I've used this before and it does do it quite nicely, so maybe just put it on me here. Okay, that's weird. Effectively, you make your... Now why it's not liking it? Ah, there we go. How strange. So, that's why, sorry, I put a power port down here, which is not the way to do it. So you place one there, there you go, now it's liking it. So, one's out, one's in. So I also put back the power port, so I do apologise for that, I was just moving everything out slightly. So you can only put turbine housing around the edges. That's very important, as you saw there. So once it's like that, there you go, that seems really happy now. So if I open up the GUI, you can see that it has a different GUI that looks roughly the same, So you have intake fluid tank and you have exhaust fluid tank. So that is steam, water, amount of energy, and the rotation speed. You can also change the induction coils if they're on and if are not. You can vent the excess fluids, and you can activate the turbine, or you can vent and close the vent. You can also change the flow rate to be able to change the rotor speed if you don't need to produce that much energy. So let's just do this in. So how do I connect this up to my thing, to my reactor? So what I do is I grab one of these here, and I grab one of these here. And as you saw in the last one, you've got to right click one of them to be an output. So I've done that the wrong way around. You've got to do that one and then that one. So now you need some form of piping. So let's go get my fluid ducts. These are pretty good. Where are they? Fluid ducts. So shift right click just to make it safe. Shift right click, shift right click. There you go. So there's my output of fluid into there, and my input into there. So if I turn this back on, you can see that it's not a new thing. It's got coolant. So if I boost this up, you can start seeing any second start producing water. Oh, they've gone way too hot. So we actually need to put coolant into it, which I completely forgot. So once you've got coolant circulating, you need to get some coolant into it. So I need to get a water. So I'm just going to get a water drum. I'll place a water drum onto there. And I need to, just need to get this working. I need the tool. There we go. And of course you need, because it's this, you need to grab a pneumatic servo. There we go. So now we've got some water flowing in, and you can already see steam coming out. Okay, so once you start putting in fluid, you do not, the coolant which is inside is completely inactive. So you can see here you've got fluid in and out. So now we come to this, you can already see that it's full of steam and it's full of water. So how we activate it is we engage the coils, we activate turbine, and you can see that it's actually animated. So you can see that when you press the go, it actually spins, which is quite cool, and you can see that it produces RF. So this is a lot more efficient way because you can have multiple of these from one, and you can see that as it's coming up to speed, the RF is increasing a lot more. So that's pretty much it for big reactors. If you've got any questions, please ask them in the comment section below, and I'll be happy to answer them. If you feel like this has helped you, remember hit that subscribe button above, and also check out my other tutorials. So I'll see you guys on the next tutorial. Bye!